Okay, this is just a little recording to show you how to make bar charts that are a bit more suited for displaying data that results from a factorial design experiment. So this is an example that I've gone over in another video where we have this made-up data, older and younger participants performing a game at a high difficulty level, moderate, and low, and then these are the average, or these are the enjoyment ratings, the self-reported enjoyment of the game on a scale from 1 to 10. We have done our ANOVA here, and we would write this up. We would probably want to also include, in addition to the write-up of the results, include a figure depicting the average values with some measure of variability, typically the standard error, the mean, depicted in error bars. So the the bar charts here, we kind of just, these are just some quick and dirty ones that I've plotted of the averages for each one, but we could probably do better than this, and it would be easier to make comparisons between the two samples, the older and the younger sample, if we could have the data side by side. Okay, so we probably don't want just two separate bar charts like this. So you can make a bar chart that depicts all of them. What you need, though, is, there we go. Sorry, forgot what sheet it was on. You need to kind of organize your data a bit differently. Okay, so this is the ultimate product, and I'll show you how to get here. Where you have older and younger bars clustered together, bars clustered together for high, moderate, and low difficulty. And there are a couple of different ways that you can depict the data. So this is one way where you have them, these two clusters of 3, but you could also have 3 clusters of 2, right? Because you have one independent variable that has 2 levels, the other independent variable, difficulty level, has 3 levels. Okay, so you could depict it the other way. And I would say it really kind of depends on your data and what you think your readers will, which will make the most sense to them. In my mind, this seems to make the most sense. You can kind of, I think, get a better feel for the patterns in the data across difficulty levels when they're compared side by side, and then you can look at older versus younger and see that they're the differences are different. So there is a significant interaction here, and that's I think more apparent here. Now, by the way, these error bars are not real. I just made up some numbers here. I could just, compute the standard error, the mean, but just to make sure that we're getting, I made these kind of exaggerated differences just to make sure that I was plotting these correctly. But so to do this, first you need to organize your data into a format that Excel is going to like. Okay, so here are older, younger, and the averages for each of those, the 6 averages. You want to organize them like this. Okay, you can also organize them so either like this or like this. You can see this is the same data, it's just organized differently, either 2 rows, 3 columns, or 2 columns, 3 rows. And these are the standard errors here. So let's say we select these, and then we go to Insert, and we do the same kind of bar chart. Move this down. So this is kind of the alternative format, and this could be a better way to depict the data. In my opinion, the other way is better. If you want to switch it, here's what you do. So you go to Select Data up here, and you say Switch Row and Column. Okay, you can see it changes, switch row and column, And I think we'll go with that. Okay. Of course, you want to add, an axis title. And I changed the font and the size a little bit, and I put an outline around here just because I think that kind of separates the legend from the rest of the chart. It looks a little bit better. For APA formatting, you actually want to delete this title. The title is actually going to be put below the chart following APA formatting in the caption. Okay, so you'll want to just delete that. So now we need to add our error bars, and you've done this before, but it was a little bit simpler. So let me show you how to do it. It's pretty much the same, but let's see. You can go a couple ways. There's a couple ways that you can get to this. Oh, actually, let me. So yeah, here's one way. If you select just one column, you can see that it selects the oranges, and it selects the grays. Here it selects the blue, and if those are selected and you hit the plus sign, you can say error bars. Now, of course, these are just nonsense error bars, and I don't know why Excel does that. So you need to go to Custom, Specify Value, and then here we are looking at the older versus younger. Okay, yeah. So, so we want to select for the high difficulty these two. Okay, and then leave the equal sign. For some reason, Excel makes you do that. Okay, and then hit OK. Okay, and then we should see I made these like double 0.2 versus 0.5 just to make it obvious that this should be about double the size. So that looks good. And then this is the other way that you could do it. So if you have the whole chart selected, you could go to the plus sign, error bars. But then since you haven't selected a single bar, it'll ask you which one. And let's go with moderate difficulty. Okay, so now we're adding it to the orange ones. And we need to do the same thing. Custom, specify the value. And just pay attention here to what you're actually selecting. Make sure you're selecting the right ones, like go across the row in this case. The older, younger values for moderate difficulty. Select the same ones for both. And there you go. And last one, let's do it this way. Error bars. Options, custom, specify the value, and now we're here on this row for the low difficulty. Select that, keep the equal sign there, and there's that. Okay, and that one's big, right? 1.2 versus 0.4. Okay, so now we should have reproduced this one here, and those look the same. Yeah, we just need to add the axis title and maybe some formatting changes. But yeah, that's how you can make a bar chart for a factorial design.